Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply once again. Today I'm going to do as I always say, short update, update number 65 on the ACT. You guys will kind of be a little bit up to date on what's going on because you've been watching the videos that I've been putting out, and I'm sorry I didn't get around to putting out one yesterday, but we've just been super busy. Everybody's inside and everybody's wanting to do their model trains and whatever hobbies they're into. But today we're going to do update 65 and I hope you enjoy it. Okay everybody, about all I can show you today is you can see that down in here I have done just some base scenery, put base scenery in between the tracks, done some ballasting along the track, have not colored the track, not painted the rail, not colored, tinted the track or anything in this area, which I need, which I need to get around to. But I did get something in there and get it glued down, which is a good thing. As you can also notice, I got in dirt over in here and over in there. And I got the road, of course the road was in, but I got dirt all around the edge of the road back this way. And I got the road painted. I do not have any kind of lines on the road, nothing like that, but you're kind of getting the idea of what this area is going to look like. You can also see that I got some gravel put in over here by the edge of the depot. That is an impromptu dirt parking lot and drop off for the people getting on and off the passenger train, local passenger train. So there won't usually be a whole lot of cars there. It's kind of like a train bus depot. But anyway, you get the idea there. I'm going to try and rotate the camera around. I don't know how successful I'll be by doing it with the camera, but let's see what I can do here. You can kind of see now. If I pan around, you can kind of see how that's all coming together. You can see that I do have the road painted all the way down to the other end and blended into the the asphalt at the other end, which is a good thing. I do not have all of the scenery material along the road. I'm missing from about there on, you can tell. I'll get to that later on. If I get some time to work on it tomorrow. Tomorrow's what? I've even lost track of days. Tomorrow is Saturday. I will definitely have time to do something tomorrow. Another thing that doesn't have anything to do with what you're looking at, but another thing I'll tell you is we've been staying away from our grandsons and our son and daughter-in-law, and we've stayed away. Each of us have stayed away from each other long enough to know that we're not going to affect each other. So I asked my son today, he dropped some things off that Gavin had been working on and that someone had purchased. And so I asked him if Gavin would like to go look at trains at some point in time, that he and I could stay far enough apart just riding in a vehicle that I don't think that'll be a problem. So he's going to get with Gavin and we may go out and do some train watching. If we do, I'll try and bring you guys some train videos or something of interest whenever he gets a hold of me and wants to go. Let's see. That being said, we'll get back to this. I'm going to try and rotate the camera around a little more. And I don't know if I might wind up getting myself into it. That's about it for being, in fact, you can see me in here. That's about it for getting down as low as I can. You kind of get a helicopter view of what let me try and scan you up, of what the yard looks like and how all of that goes together. And I've gotten some shots like this, but you guys don't usually see this perspective. But I thought I'd try and use the camera today to get a little bit of this. I'm going to turn the camera around now and I'm going to move the tripod down a little bit and let you look kind of like this helicopter shot down into where the engine house is. And you're going to see something a little drastic there, but I'm not going to fix it for right now. But anyway, let's take a look. Okay, gang, here we are looking down into where the roundhouse and turntable is, and the bridge spanning the gap there, and the trees and forest and all that stuff, and the cattle pens that is now called Swanson's Land and Cattle. I came up with that name because that was my wife's grandparents' name. Last name is Swanson. I always just adored those folks, and so I decided to name it after them. They were always really good to us, and we were always really good to them. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So it became Swanson's Land and Cattle. I'm going to pan around again, and we'll take a look back the other way once again. And now you can see down the layout. And let me just try and keep panning. I'm trying to do this with the pan on the tripod. Now you can see where, you guys have seen where everything is. But anyway, kind of an overall overhead view. Let me show you one other thing here. Let me come back to you in just a second here. Okay, everybody. You probably heard some noise in the background. Our UPS man showed up. It's blowing really hard outside today, and the pollen is just so thick you have to cut it with a knife. And I didn't think it was good for me to be out there today. But anyway, Robin opened the garage door and let them in. We've ordered a massive amount of stuff because some of the distributors are closing down because of the virus. And we didn't know who was going to be closing down and who wasn't. But nevertheless, we put in a huge, well, not a huge for us, I don't know, order for Cato Track and a whole bunch of other stuff that we thought we might not be able to get for a while. So anyway, it just showed up, and it fills up, I don't know, an eighth of the garage here. So anyways, getting back to what I was going to tell you. Another thing that I got was I did get my 5-place boxes, bill boxes from Micromark. I have several of them. I just haven't had the time to get out here and get back on that particular project. Maybe I'll get back on that this weekend. Maybe not. I don't know. It just depends on how things work out. But really, all in all, as far as the layout go, oh, one thing you can probably, I don't know whether you can see it in the video. Let me put my finger here. Yeah, you can see that caboose. Maybe in the video you'll be able to see that caboose has a light on the back of it. I did install one of the lights in this caboose that I bought at the last convention, and you can see that they stay lit for quite some time even after you take them off the track. Nice units, and I'll be dang if I can think off the top of my head of the guy's name again. I always do that every time I come in here unprepared. But nevertheless, I got another one installed. I have like 2 or 3 more that I have in there that I just haven't gotten around to doing yet, and they're on the workbench right now. It's the same system that goes in that caboose that you see on that train running around. I have like several of them done. I don't know where the other ones are right at the moment, but I have several of them done, and they work really, really good. So I'm happy with them. I just need to get time to put them in. Oh, by the way, when I showed you I don't know if I mentioned that, when I showed you the mountains over there and everything, you probably noticed the 2 locomotives on the roof of the roundhouse. They don't normally belong there, obviously. But I had to clean off that track to put that scenery work in there, and just never got around to putting them back down, and I haven't cleaned that track yet. So they're currently living on top of the roundhouse instead of in the roundhouse, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So anyway, another thing before I go real quickly, I got some more fencing. The picket fence will probably go around some of the houses down there, and the privacy fence, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to give it a shot out here and see how that stuff works. I may use part of the privacy fence, although I've been thinking about chain link fence. I have a bunch of chain link fence from Microengineering, and I'm thinking about using that around the sawmill. Oh, one more thing I need to tell you too is the building down here that was going to be Better Box Company. Let's see here. Let me turn this a little bit. This one here, it was going to be Better Box Company. I think I'm going to reverse roles with a building down there. The building that's not built down there yet. And I think that's going to become the tool and machinery tool and machinery supply. Therefore, I can come down here and get tools and machinery to go to any of these businesses out here, anywhere on the layout, up to the mine, all over the place. And it's pretty far away from everything, so it'll give me a chance to get in here, get some stuff, box cars, flat cars, whatever kind of cars go in there, and take them a distance away on the layout. So that's going to become a tool company, tool and supply company. Not sure exactly what we're going to name that yet, but then I'll think of something else to put down there at the other end that's relative to other stuff on the layout. But so anyway, the building isn't going to change any, just the name and what they do there. And I'll probably put some more building related or machinery related stuff on and in the building. I've also got to put lights in it so it's not permanently mounted down yet. So anyway, to get back, I'm going to probably put maybe barbed wire fence around the sawmill area. I do have the driveway up into the sawmill done, by the way, too. So I can get ready, I can put the trucks and stuff in, but I got to do the lines on the road. Just haven't got to that. There's a lot of things I don't get to, right? But nevertheless, I have all these things gathered up, so I have things to do if I don't have time to do anything. That being said, I'm going to show you a little tip I found today, why I've never thought of it before, and maybe someone else has thought of it and put it out there. But in my mind, it's an idea I came up with, and it astounded me. So let me show you what that is. Okay, gang. If we take a look at this turnout right here, when I was doing the road back there, you guys know that I was using the foam tack glue, which is kind of like a two-part, not a two-part, it's a contact cement. Anyway, as I was applying that, I dripped a drop down inside of this mechanism on this turnout right here, the slide part of the mechanism. I did everything in my power to get as much of it out of there as I could. However, the turnout was still sticking when I tried to throw it with my push button here. See this finger right here? Push button is right down below my finger, where you saw my finger there. However, if you notice now, that turnout is working incredibly smoothly once again, without removing it from the layout, without having to do major surgery and everything. And I'm going to show you something here. You probably can't buy it in this fashion anymore, and I would assume that this bottle is about 100 years old. But here's what I have. It's Katie AIDS Greasem 231. All this is graphite, okay? This just happens to be an extremely old, probably a collector bottle. But anyway, I've had it laying in my tools over here for quite some time. But let me tell you what I discovered. I discovered if you've got any of these Kato turnouts and you put them down and they don't have dirt in them, but they just don't operate very smoothly, what I did over here was I just squirted a little bit of that down inside that mechanism right there, worked it back and forth a couple of times, and now it takes so little effort to move that, it's incredible. And I thought, well, if it worked down there, it's conductive, so I'll put some underneath the ties here and work this back and forth. Sure enough, I squirted a little bit in there, worked this back and forth, blew off the excess, and I'll be darned if that thing just doesn't work smoother than grease lightning. So I thought, well, if it works for one, it will work for another. Well, you can also see that I put ballast and scenery material down here around this number 4. I did that, this machine wouldn't work at all. I thought, well, if it works once, it'll work twice. I sprayed some on the pivots right here, sprayed some down in the hole right there, sprayed some on the ties right here and down in this mechanism here. And I don't have this one hooked to a button yet, but I'll be doggone if that thing didn't free right up and works like a champ. So I'm totally convinced and I'm totally assured that using any of this powdered graphite, nothing liquid, don't ever put liquid down in there, oil of any kind or anything, but a powdered graphite, you put it down in there and you can smooth up. I'm totally confident after all my experience with Kato turnouts, you can smooth up any turnout that's just sticky from doing your scenery work. If you got one that's totally glued shut, now that's a different story. But I'm saying if it just works hard, try this before you try soaking it with water, using a paintbrush, try and get the glue out of there. I've tried every method under the sun. But applying this actually seems to work. And when I'm sure, in other words, I'm 99% sure now, but when I'm 100% sure this is a good thing to do, I'm going to do a how-to and put that how-to on my how-to page, and I'm going to put it on our website. But I may do the how-to tomorrow. But this worked, and I'll probably get a newer tube of it. I've got a newer tube of it inside, and demonstrate actually doing it. So anyway, that's the tip for the day. I think it really works. It's a lifesaver for those of us who use Kato Unitrack. And that's pretty much it for today. Okay, everybody. That does it for update 65. And I hope you enjoyed this short one. I enjoyed doing them. Hope it gives you something to do, laugh at my face, whatever. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.